Can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Because it showed that audio was coming through. Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me now? Because it shows audio's coming through. All right. So I have no idea. It hasn't been on mute. But anyway, so the Bulls have traded Lonzo Ball. They traded Lonzo Ball for Isaac Okoro. And the thing that it makes this look at is while they're bringing in a player like Isaac Okoro, who's younger, only 24 years old, is a player that still has, he's more of a defensive focused player. Of course, we know that Isaac Okoro is going to be a defensive focused player that the Chicago Bulls need, especially with like having Kobe White and things like that on the team. Bringing in somebody like Isaac Okoro definitely helps the type of defensive intensity that you need, that you need with guys like Josh Giddey and guys like Kobe White and even Modest Buzelis, as Modest is still trying to grow as an offensive player. You need guys like Isaac Okoro, no doubt, on your team. You need those type of guys. And so, it brings that. But what I was getting at is that this is, again, the Chicago Bulls making a move too late. The Bulls had an offer for the 18th overall pick for Lonzo Ball last year. That could have got you Drake Powell. That could have got you Danny Wolf. That could have got you a number of players. Will Riley, players that help your young core that are still young. Not to knock Isaac Okoro. He's still a very good young player that brings something that the Bulls do need in the defensive aspect of the ball. They need that. Make no mistake about that. But this just seems like another missed opportunity for the Chicago Bulls where they could have had a little bit more in regards to that. Now, Isaac Okoro as well with his contract, $11 million. He has 2 more years left on his contract, so 1 year more than what Lonzo Ball would have had, and he's typically more of a healthy player. He does not bring the shooting upside that Lonzo Ball had or anything like that, and that's going to be a big part of what holds this team back overall. But, I look at this and I say that this is a trade where it makes sense that the Bulls made this, but it just seems like another missed opportunity by AK to get in somebody that makes a little bit more sense to this team. And that's the problem here. You missed an opportunity to get the 18th overall pick in a deep draft by trading Lonzo Ball. And because you don't do that, now you settle on Isaac Okoro, who only 24 years old, has been on a winning team. He could definitely contribute, but you got no picks back for it. So now you've traded DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Alex Caruso, and Lonzo Ball, and the only pick that you got back in those trades was your own first-round pick back that you traded when you that you sent off when you got DeMar DeRozan. That's all you got back in this case so far. We got Stevo in the building. What's going on, Stevo?
What's good? Hold on, wait a minute. I was about to say that looked weird, but when I say this trade, you know what? It's like it wouldn't have been bad if you waited this long. Like it wouldn't have been a bad trade due to all the prior moves you could have made from, like you said, DeMar, Zach, getting something for Caruso and picks, not getting picks in this case. Like that's the only thing. Like, in a time where I want to be like, okay, that wasn't a bad thing to do, but it's just a tad bit too late. You done gave somebody a contract. We was like, what you give him the contract for? If you like, that's the whole thing. The fact that you gave this man the whole contract situation, what you doing?
Exactly. And you gave him a contract you didn't have to. Like, you could have traded him for Memphis before extending him, and you could have got the 18th overall pick. Like, I don't want to crap on Isaac Okoro. He's a perfectly fine role player to bring in some defense. I want to be clear there. Like, it's a solid trade, but you had the chance to make a great trade. You had the chance to get an 18th overall pick, which you could have still went Noah Essengue. You could have went your upside pick. Then you could have went your guy with your high floor like a Danny Wolf. That could have been the perfect draft for the Bulls. They go upside with Noah. They still got Danny Wolf at number 18. You now drag your feet. You make this move only 3 months. He hasn't even played on the new contract. And again, this isn't to knock Okoro. This is just where it comes in with the Bulls not thinking about the deals that they make and putting themselves in worse situations by trading the same player when they have a better offer on the field there. It just doesn't make any sense there.
Yeah, and we kind of look at now you got a lot of forwards on your team. Like you still got P. Will. I understand you're trying to move him, but that's going to be difficult. Yeah. So now, like that's you bringing some friction right there because they're going to come into camp. I think most of these forwards are coming onto the team because this was the only deal that I think is going to be made. As far I could be wrong, Kobe could be moved, Boots could be moved. I just highly doubt it. But at the end of the day, like I said, I like Isaac Okoro. I've been watching him since Arbram. I know what he brings to the team. He plays hard hard nosed, plays winning basketball, which I like, which you're gonna get more productive. Like the little shit we look for P Will to do, Isaac Okoro does that without thought, which we're gonna love straight off the bat. But once again, this is a trade you should have made 3 years ago or 2 years ago, or before you gave them this man this contract. Because not only that, we've been hearing the contracts that you heard that we heard rumors from DeMar, from Zach, from Lonzo, down to Kobe. Even the last trade with Kobe, we still looking like that. That Desmond Bain trade looks very tasteful if that was us. But like I said, you make your good trades don't look that good because of the ones you did in the past or waiting too long to make that trade.
I do love this question for Rob. Rob asked a really good question here. Trey coming back now more likely could be because you don't have a backup point guard as it stands right now, unless you're planning to play Io at point guard, which we've already seen that experiment. It doesn't go great for him when he plays point guard. So this could be clearing. If this does clear the path to bring Trey back, which we still have 2 open roster spots, I believe, then I'm not necessarily as mad about this trade. And for people that are saying, y'all gassing Isaac Okoro was bad, let's just go over what he did last year. He had a point differential of plus 4.4 when he was on the court. He added 7+ wins to the Cleveland Cavaliers team that was already really good. On average, they scored 2.3 points more per 100 possessions when he was on the court, and opposing teams scored 2.1 points less when he was on the court. Oh, and by the way, he held players that he guarded to a almost 3% worse field goal percentage when he was guarding them versus when he was not. Nobody's saying that Isaac Okoro was
they was the best player on the opposite team.
Yeah, but for a defensive focused player, he brings a lot of what you need from a player that's basically coming in there to just show you defense. That's all we're saying. We're not saying that he's going to make the Bulls all of a sudden some better player, but for the role that they're bringing him in here for defense, he's really good at just bringing some defense to a team that needs some defense.
Defense, cutting, simple basketball things that we ask P. Will to do. The things that's my thing with this whole trade. The shit that the little things we just ask P. Will to do that he should be able to do, Isaac does that with no problem. That's all he has. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's like, for the people that loved the guy that went to the 6'5" guard that played forward for us for the long time, Green, you're gonna like Isaac Okoro. They're similar. They're very similar type players.
Can he shoot the three? He shot the ball 37% from 3 last year. I think for the last 2 years, the worst that he's ever shot from 3 is 29% his rookie year. Other than that, he's been above 36% every year. In the last 2 years, 39% and 37% from 3. Now he's not a volume 3-point shooter, so you're not going to look at him taking 6, 8 3-pointers per game, but he can hit the 3. And with the way that Josh Giddey and Kobe White create off drives, he should be able to get quite a bit of open threes. He's a decent 3-point shooter. So
and that's the one thing. If you're gonna want him to shoot a 3, it's just standing in the corner, and that's something he can do.
Yeah. Exactly. So I mean, and that's what it is. Like it is what it is when it comes down to it. And I think that in moving Lonzo, like you got something back. Is it great? No, we're not trying to gas it to be great. You missed the opportunity to get a great trade when you passed on the 18th overall pick for Lonzo Ball when he was coming off an injury. But for people who are saying you didn't get any draft picks for, you think you're going to get a draft pick for a player that played 70 games in 5 years? That's difficult. That's why it is so stupid that the Bulls passed up when the Memphis Grizzlies offered Marcus Smart and a protected first-round pick. It was stupid. You weren't going to get that. And that goes back to what AK continually does. He passes up on really good trade offers and then makes a trade later on that's not nearly as good. You weren't going to get the teams after Lonzo's season ended yet again early with injury. Keep in mind, when Memphis made the offer, he was still playing. It was before he went down with injury. He went down with another season into injury. Nobody was going to be giving you that type of a draft pick at this point. With Lonzo going down with injury again, they just weren't going to give you that.
I look at that trade. I look at that trade that was supposed to go down with the Knicks and Zach. That's how I look for me. Those two trades that you could have got,
the biggest one for sure.
Yeah, those two is like this is Zoe's version of that with Memphis. You could have did it earlier on because you thought what you was gonna get it back, and I get it. Lonzo's a jack of all trades, but at the end of the day, he can't stay on the floor. He's been injury prone since he came in the league. He's actually been injuries prone since he got injured in college. So I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's just the downside of Lonzo. Unfortunately, like Lonzo's always going to be a player that's often injured, and I can understand why the Bulls wanted to move off of that. I just don't understand why you gave him a contract extension and turned down the 18th overall pick when you had a chance to do that. But hey, that's just me. But let me ask you this, Steve, because I answered a little bit. Do you think this is a chance now, a better chance to keep Trey Young on this team? Not Trey Young. I don't want Trey Young on this team. Trey Jones on this team.
Yeah, because now you got another guard up out of there, and especially a guard that was good at playmaking. We seen the things before Trey Jones went down. He was starting to get the playmaking going, the pick and roll game between him and our bigs. Even when the times that we played with goggles, he played well with them. Even though it was more of a pick and pop, he was able to adjust with each one of our bigs, from Zach Collins, from Vooch to goggles like Smith. So for people that don't know, that's Jalen Smith. But yeah, like I like him. He grew. He's somebody, as us, we've been looking at him for a long time. We saw his stint with Washington. I think he's a volume good backup guard. So I think that's somebody we should keep. I was a little sad that we up until now it didn't look like we was gonna be able to keep him, but I think this just shored up that we might have to keep him now.
Yeah, I mean, and Trey reportedly isn't going to get more than $10 million. The Bulls do have a full mid-level exception to be able to sign him if they want to. I mean, they have his bird right, so they can sign him without technically using the mid-level exception. But mid-level exception type money, they have a roster spot to keep him open, to keep him there. So the Bulls have a path to keep Trey Jones if they decide to do so. The question is that where they're going to want to focus at? Are they going to want to pursue a center or something like that? But now this does open more of a clear path for them to keep Trey Jones. It's just really on decision on how the Bulls want to use their roster spots. They have the roster spots to get him to keep him in here. Our second round pick was signed with a two-way contract, so that means that still maintains a roster spot open. So the Bulls have two roster spots open. One of those could go to Trey Jones, and Trey Jones came in here and he played really well when he was here. So I don't see why they wouldn't at least explore that unless they try to go a more cheaper point guard option, which there are some on the market.
Yeah, there are, and I won't be. And let's say I won't be mad if Trey doesn't come back, because, like you said, there are some decent options and cheaper options on the guard side. But if you could keep somebody that built somewhat of chemistry with the team that you're gonna bring back anyway, you might as well try to keep them.
For sure. I understand the disappointment in the trades they turned down, but in my opinion, AK is trying to make up for the time he wasted running it back. This is like an accelerated rebuild. Well, we're not in a rebuild. I mean, I think we got to get the Bulls aren't in a rebuild. Like they're in a retooling, but they're not in a rebuild. But I mean, listen, if you want to view that as not wasting it when you ran it back before, I mean, I can see where you're coming from with that one. I don't necessarily take it that way. I just think that this is just the Bulls looking at it and saying, we want players that are going to be able to be here and be healthy. And we don't know if Lonzo's going to be able to be healthy, so why keep wasting assets on it? And this is a place that they should have been a while ago, to be honest with you. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that's what they're doing anyway.
Yeah, like I mean, like I said, all we can do is be happy that they came to the realization. But like we all know, this whole organization, especially when it comes down to our GM, they're just a dollar late, dollar short every time.
Absolutely. Super Duper Danko says, looking for the bright side, we got a player who will be available, and I'm hoping this means no Kuminga. Oh, Kuminga's done now. When you trade for, I mean, when you draft Noah Essengue, that means that, to me, that the Kuminga stuff was off the board then. That's why I haven't talked about it since then, because it would make no sense now. That's not to say that AK hasn't done shit that's not sensible before, but I don't think I think that the Kuminga shit was done once we drafted Essengue. What do you think, Steve-O?
I mean, there was too many people that wanted Kuminga, and there was too many people that had way more access to Kuminga. So I always felt like Kuminga was going to be a long haul to get. Was it possible? Yeah, but especially over the draft, like especially when we picked the forward, I'm like, we got 17 forwards now. Like I don't see.
Yeah, people can't say too many guards at this point anymore, because, like, I know Isaac Okoro is only 6'4". I've seen a lot of people say that, but if you look at he's basically played strictly small forward his whole career. So, yeah, I mean,
you don't want him to play guard. I'll tell you that.
you definitely don't want him to play guard. I mean, maybe in some spot opportunities or whatever when it comes down to that. But just to break it down for people that want to ask, the last time that Isaac Okoro logged any minutes at shooting guard was his second year in the league, where he only played 20% of his minutes at shooting guard. Since then, he's been primarily small forward and power forward. So there you go. On that. And where people say that he's 6'4", he's 6'6".
He he's in that teeter of 6'5", 6'4", 6'6". So
they be flubbing stuff.
Depends on what shoes he got on.
Where them up tempos, my boy, up tempos.
I'm trying to count. So we got Noah Essengue, we got Montes, that's 2. We still got EJ Liddell, we got Emmanuel Miller.
Those are G League guys, two-way contract guys.
We still got Julian Phillips. We still got Patrick. That's 4.
I mean, and I saw B Minor saying, well, how does this clear the path for Noah? Noah's gonna have to come in. We know, like, I don't know why y'all act like y'all ain't Bulls fans. There's not a rookie isn't coming right in and starting or getting tons of minutes. They're gonna have to show it. Now, Noah's gonna have to show and prove that he's more defensively ready than Dalen Terry to jump him in the depth chart. That was gonna be there anyway. He's gonna have to prove that he's more consistent than Julian Phillips to be able to do it. Noah's gonna have to come into training camp and prove that defensively, his ability on ball defense, his off-ball defense, the ability to force steals, and his ability to get to the free throw line. Those are the 4 things that he can do right now while he's working on his jump shot. He has to prove that he can do a combination of those 4 things enough to leapfrog that. But it's not just about – y'all got to stop thinking in the framework of just 1 year. That's if the team was winning. We're not a winning basketball team yet. So it's not just about next season. The Bulls didn't draft Noah Essengue so that they can all of a sudden become – extremely better next season. Essengue is a pick for 2, 3 years down the road, so that as he's developing, not to say that he's not going to play until then, but as he's developing, that's when you're really looking at the most benefit of it. It was never to be you make a trade like this for Isaac Okoro so you can have some type of a player that is proven defensively. Now, while you're waiting to see what Noah Essengue can bring right away, but I can see Noah passing up Dalen Terry on the depth chart. I can see that happening.
I think my initial thoughts when Noah got picked is a multitude of things. We don't trust P. Will. We damn sure don't trust Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry. And most importantly, Montes don't have a running mate as of now.
That's a fact, man.
I know people gonna be like Giddy, that's the point guard, but I mean another running mate where if something go wrong and I can't score, we can look to him. They see him down the line as possibly a running mate with Montes. And I'm gonna say that again. So that means that's a 3 to 4 year project right there. So we can't be sitting here thinking. First of all, it's the Bulls. We shouldn't be thinking about the next few years anyway because it's gonna be a long time of us being trash.
CJ, the truth. He measured at the draft combine without shoes at 6'5.5", which means with shoes he's 6'6".
That's what I was
now,
saying.
I'm just saying. I'm just going off with the draft combine numbers. When he was at the draft combine, which he was in the same draft as P. Will, he measured 6'5.5" without shoes. So, I'm just going off that. He's listed out on ESPN as 6'6".
I'm about to say Wikipedia even say 6'5".
Yeah, I'd rather use Kevin Huerter. I mean, no, Kevin is still going to be in a rotation. Make no mistake about it. Like, this doesn't phase out Kevin Huerter. His shooting is still going to be drastically important for this Bulls team next year.
Y'all worried about the road? This go hurt P. Will. I'm trying to tell you.
And that's what it is more than anything. Like, this is the Bulls continue to move on from P. Will. They said it. We heard it. Like, it's all on P. Will, right? That's what they said, that they are no longer factoring in P. Will to their future plans. Now, if he comes into training camp and looks amazing, they're not going to say, oh, crap, you look good, we're not going to play you. But this is that we're no longer betting on P. Will. If P. Will comes in and he looks great, cool. Pass up these guys in front of you. But this is a move that's and the Noah pick that solidifies
P.
Will,
don't give a damn.
You're not part of the plans no more, my boy.
Yeah. It's over with. Yeah. And they already said they're looking to trade you too. So the writing's on the wall with P. Will.
So we shall see. We shall see. But hey, anything left, Steve, before we get up out of here, bro?
Hey, At least they made the move. That's all I can say.
I'm glad they did something, bro. Like, and not to say I'm not somebody who I wanted to see the Bulls just make a move just to make a move. I actually am adamantly against that. I think that's stupid thinking when people want to see somebody to make a trade just to make one. But this is a trade that actually does help the Bulls in certain areas where they need it.
Yeah, I think everybody even if we don't get the right deal on the end of the stick, I think majority like P. Will, the Zacks, Booch, they just need to go. You just need to wash our hands. It didn't work. The era's done. Get the fuck over with it.
Who deleted their IG? P. Will? That's crazy if P. Will deleted his. You know what? I'm not even mad at that. Lock the fuck in. Lock in, bro. Like, this is it for P. Will. Like, real talk. Because I get it. Even if we do trade him and the team wants him, he can get a new look. But I don't see any team. If P. Will is traded, it's as a throw-in, or they're really just wanting whatever we attach to it. P. Will has to lock in this year. And I, for one, hope that he does. If P. Will ever does wake up, it changes so much for the Chicago Bulls. But as the Bulls should, you cannot bet on P. Will anymore. You just can't. You cannot bet on P. Will to be part of your future anymore.
He definitely deleted that shit.
That's crazy.
Hey. That's sad.
It is what it is. That time is running out, my boy. Start that Undertaker music. That time's ticking, my boy. But all right, y'all, I appreciate y'all so much, man, for everything that y'all done and tuning in, even with B Minor bitching all day long. I love you guys, man. Make sure you guys are following us at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. We'll see y'all in the next one.
We got another Mitchell Trubisky.
That is crazy, bro. Remember when Caleb deactivated his Instagram? Remember the summer before he got traded? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Maybe he knows something we don't. We shall see. But love y'all, man. We'll see y'all in the next one.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.